another episode of Inspiring Voices. Today, we're joined by Ms. Rajrajeswari Mishra, a senior investment banking and private equity professional with nearly 20 years of experience in infrastructure finance. Currently a senior vice president at SBI Capital Markets, she has led complex transactions across project finance, M&A, debt and equity markets, and stressed asset resolution. She has worked on public-private partnership projects and has also served as COO of a private equity fund focused on infrastructure and development. In this episode, we delve deeper into her inspiring and successful career path. Thank you for spending some time and agreeing to appear on this podcast, Ms. Rajrajeswari.
Thank you. Thank you, Avni, for the lovely introduction. It would be really my pleasure to be able to, speak in your podcast.
Thank you. Okay, so when you were growing up, what moments, people, or experiences most shaped the way you thought about your future? Was there any point where you realized this is the path I want to take?
Well, I grew up in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, which is in the eastern part of the country, in a fairly grounded and middle class environment, where I would say education was deeply valued, not as pressure, but as empowerment. My father, in particular, always taught me to be independent financially, emotionally, and intellectually. I would, for the time and place I have come from, I was lucky to have very progressive parents who have always encouraged me to think for myself, ask questions, and aim higher. From the beginning, I was naturally inclined towards problem solving and analytical thinking. So that led me to choose engineering. But over the time, I realized my curiosity towards large scale decision making, and I would say what excited me was how capital shapes industries or infrastructure, which gradually pulled me towards finance. But having seen my career or my path, I would not say that it was I would not say at the beginning it was a perfectly laid out plan. It is basically what has helped me is being open and working hard, and saying yes to opportunities that were challenging and that has stretched me from my comfort zone.
That makes a lot of sense. I think family is very important for how you
Yeah.
become. And also, it's
Yes.
very important for you to not shy away from opportunities. Like, I know myself, I'm a shy person who tends to shy away from really good opportunities, but they're important to land in the right place.
That's right. Always be open, have an open mind and grab opportunities that you actually pulls you out of your comfort zone rather than doing the stereotype.
That makes sense. That's the only way to stand out after all.
Yeah.
So, investment banking is known for really long hours and intense pressure. Were there moments when balancing work and personal life felt especially difficult? How did you navigate those without burning out or losing yourself?
Well, I'll be very honest. There were phases where, work-life balance was more of an aspiration than actual reality. Investment banking, particularly infrastructure and project finance, can be very demanding and very intense. What helped me through those phases was, of course, I'm blessed with a very supportive family that has consistently encouraged me to aim higher and pursue my ambitions without guilt. I would say I may not have had long hours to spend with them, while I was starting my career or my initial years, but I focused on being fully present whenever it was possible. And over time, as I have grown up in my career, I have learned the importance of building strong teams, delegating effectively, and drawing boundaries wherever possible. Sometimes it's not possible being in the service industry, client facing roles, but I try to practice wherever possible. My family has always been my emotional anchor, and their encouragement has given me the confidence to push myself professionally while I have stayed grounded personally. Balance, I believe, frankly, there is no hard and fast rule about it. It is not static, it evolves with your life and career, how you learn to manage situations.
That makes sense. I think the point about family is especially important because a lot of girls have the stereotypical viewpoint that having a family, starting your own family can actually pull down your career. So this is important. Yeah,
Yeah, it does depend. You need to build your, support system around you. Don't hesitate to take help of family. They are the most, in fact, they are going to help you pull through all difficult times.
that's true. 100%. So was there ever a moment in your career where you felt underestimated or treated differently because you were a woman? And how did you respond to it?
Well, yes, there were phases, especially early in my career, when it did feel challenging. Financial services and infrastructure have traditionally been a male-dominated profession. And when I started out, there were very few women in decision-making roles. Having said that, the profession has come a long way. Significantly, it has developed, evolved in the years, and it has become far more open and inclusive. One thing I've always strongly believed since the beginning of my career, that one should not take shield or seek advantage of a particular situation just because I'm a woman. Instead, I have always focused, or the focus should always be on merit, competence, credibility. When you consistently deliver quality work and you earn trust and you stand by your decisions, everything eventually will fall into place. What helped me was always staying focused on outcomes, speaking up when required, and not letting stereotypes, external or internal, limit me or define my limits. Over time, you will see that results will speak louder than labels. And I have found that these days, perspective and diversity of thought are increasingly being considered as one strength. Workplaces are moving towards more inclusive environments where everybody is treated equal. It is merit that counts, not your gender.
That's good to know that society is progressing that way. But
Yes.
I also think
Yes.
it's really, really important. And it's a good testimony to you as well about how you didn't let any stereotypical like gender roles limit you. It's very important.
Yeah, I'll give you one small example. In my initial years, like while you are helping clients mobilize large funds, you have to go to site visits before you are recommending for investments. You have to do your own due diligence so that you were convinced that whatever you are recommending is not incorrect, it is justified. So I handle energy. In my growing up time, I was handling energy. So there have been very interior locations where I've traveled with my colleagues. I have not hesitated. So that's when, if I would have hesitated, that would have stopped. Or next time when my boss would have asked, he would have thought, okay, she'll not prefer to go travel to interiors of the country for a site visit. So go as per the process. Don't take advantage of, no, I'll not go because I'm a woman. You have to do your work, focus on merit and hard work, and everything else will be, fall in place.
That makes sense. Yeah. The less you think about any gender limitations, the better it is. It's definitely to do with the amount of hard work. And I don't think girls should limit themselves saying, I'm a woman, I wouldn't get the chance anyways. So yeah,
Right,
that's
right,
important.
absolutely. Yes.
So if you were speaking directly to a 15-year-old girl like myself who dreams of working in finance but feels intimidated or unsure, what would you want her to know before she starts this journey?
Okay. First, I'll tell her, believe that you belong. Financial services and need diversity of thought, and your voice matters. Speak up. Second, invest deeply in building skills and credibility early on. Confidence comes from preparation. We underrate, in investing in long hours in the initial years, but that's what pays off going forward. Third, don't let the fear of failure or perfectionism hold you back. Careers are not sprints. Seek mentors, ask questions, Don't hesitate to take up challenging roles. And finally, remember that success doesn't have to be anybody else's version. Define it for yourself. You should feel that you are successful, not what I think or somebody else thinks.
That makes sense. And I think it's very important for a girl to realize that her version of success right now might not be her version of success 20 years in the future.
Yes, that's right.
So, looking back now, if you could sit down with your teenage self for 5 minutes, what would you tell her about your life and career?
Um, I would tell her, relax. You don't have to have it all figured out. Focus on learning, stay curious, trust that hard work compounds with over time. Don't be afraid of taking unconventional paths, and don't measure yourself too harshly in the early years. Life has a way of connecting dots later on. And most importantly, enjoy the journey and not just the milestones. And however cliche it may sound, there is no shortcut to success. Hard work always pays.
That's 100% true. I agree with you in that, especially the fact that a lot of girls assume that they need to have their entire life planned out, like step by step. And in that process, they end up losing the fun of it. Everything becomes, how
Right.
can I fit into this border and continue? So that's something
You're
important.
doing your 10th, you're thinking what course you have to take for your 12th and graduation. No, take it as it comes.
Yeah,
That's how it is. Be open, hard work, and believe in yourself.
that's true. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Rajrajeswari.
Thank you. Thank you, Avni, for having me in your podcast.
Thank you.